Hi, this is Jay from Jay's Beer Review, and you're watching another episode of Chad's Beer Review. That is one sexy bitch.
Whether it's a lager or an ale, whether it's a stout, light, dark, or pale, if you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews. He's not quite an amateur, not quite a connoisseur, but regardless of the brewer, he's got taste in beer for sure.
You can tell just by his gut, this guy is a bona fide beer nut.
So whether it's a porter or an IPA, whether it's from Europe or the USA, if you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews.
Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. As you can see, I'm still rocking the cast here, and it probably will be for quite a while. As you can see, I also got a sweatshirt on because the temperature dropped like a rock and it feels like it's winter again. That's okay because the green kind of matches the bottle. This is Brooklyn Lager. If you saw, a few of my vlogs, I've had this in the fridge since February. I bought a Brooklyn mix pack for the USA versus Canada gold medal game, and had a bunch of people over. And this beer's been sitting in the fridge for a while. And it says best before April 2010, so it's nearing the expiration date. I've had this beer many times before, so I pretty much know what to expect. It says, amber gold with a malty body and floral hop character, Brooklyn Lager is a revival of Brooklyn's pre-prohibition all-malt lagers. This is the brewery's first and best-selling brand. Brooklyn Lager is brewed only with malted barley, hops, water, and yeast, and will taste best before the freshness date indicated. Please write us, blah blah blah. Okay. It's 5.2% alcohol. I don't know if you can see this. It says brewed and bottled by the Brooklyn brewery Utica, New York. That's actually 𝓂𝓗𝓛. So 𝓂𝓗𝓛 actually brews a lot of Brooklyn's smaller beers. They brew their big beers in Brooklyn. Oh, and I also have Zach Avery's 500 Beers book here because he highlighted this beer under Vienna Lager style, which is really odd because on the brewer's website and on Rate Beer, they both consider it an American amber lager, but Rate Beer considers it a Vienna Lager too, so I don't know who's right. Let's see if I can still get a good pour here. Pretty nice looking beer. It's a kind of like a dark copper, dark amber kind of color. No effervescence at all. I guess I got all the carbonation out of it, and got a pretty decent head there. Probably about like a 2-finger eggshell, antique white kind of color, frothy, foamy, whatever you want to call it. Smells pretty good. It smells a lot like Sam Adams Boston Lager. It's like the floral kind of hops. It's not citrusy or piney like an IPA. This is how like a good quality lager should smell. It doesn't have like that grainy, sour smell that you get like out of a Heineken or some kind of, pale Pilsner or like even Rolling Rock, something like that. So this is a pretty inviting American lager, so let's dive in. Yeah. Even though this bottle is a little bit old, the taste is still really good. What surprised me was, the first thing I noticed was a creamy texture, which is probably from the head. And then it kind of finishes with like a hop bite, but it's not too strong. And then it kind of finishes with the, like a little bit of a dryness overall, but see, for a lager, the hops are actually lingering here. It just it keeps impressing me as how smooth this beer is. It is, plenty flavorful, and the aftertaste is equally delightful. It is like, fairly hoppy, but nothing too intense. And there's a distinct bitterness there, but it washes away pretty quickly. The hops linger for a few seconds and they seem to dissipate. What's nice is that the palate overall is actually, to call it mild makes it sound like a bad thing. But and I would say that it's mild, but I don't mean that as, in a negative way. It's actually, that's what makes it so drinker friendly, is that you get like real flavor here. Almost kind of bordering on what you'd get out of a pale ale. But I guess that's typical for Vienna lager style, because Sam Adams Boston Lager is very similar. So, I'm just going to sip on this a little bit more and we'll come back with my final thoughts. Look, that head sticking around all the way to the end, that's a good sign of a quality beer. So, yeah, I like it. I'm going to go actually fairly high on this one and say 8. Lagers, I'm more of an ale guy than a lager guy, so I'd grade like a little bit of a curve for lagers. But, overall, this is a really good beer. It's kind of a toss-up between this and Sam Adams Boston Lager as to which is the superior American high-quality craft beer lager. But if you have the opportunity to get this, I highly recommend it. If you can't, Sam Adams Boston Lager is a good alternative. I think this is actually a lot more drinkable than Sam Adams, because it's like, it's not as heavy bodied, and it just, like, the palate is so much smoother. It's not a beer that bites you back. So I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 for Brooklyn Lager. It's a very good beer, especially considering that it's a lager. So I guess that about does it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.